Hello, hello. Okay,
So welcome back to Two Deans and No Waiting. I am Dean, and this is the other guy.
I'm Dean.
And we already got into a fist fight before we started. So you better tell everybody.
Buckle up.
This is probably the most important show we've ever had. We already got into an argument, and there is some crazy stuff happening right now with the Federal Reserves. My sources tell me that Trump is possibly going to replace the Federal Reserves. You could see an end to the Fed. And I was trying to explain to Dean, I don't know if this is good or bad, but this is probably the most important news. This is like Bretton Woods on steroids. Bretton Woods basically got us off the gold standard. Okay, to elaborate back with history, FDR confiscated the gold in the 40s, and Bretton Woods with Nixon got us off the gold standard, which created the petrodollar. So basically, what my sources tell me, the petrodollar is done. No more petrodollar. You heard it here. This is what they're saying. This is breaking. It's happening in real time. But this could have some serious repercussions. You could see markets tank, which you're kind of seeing now. The price of eggs and everything else, which you're going to talk about later. You brought up a good point.
Yep.
The inflation is going to skyrocket. There's a reason why gold is $3,000 an ounce.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the sky hasn't fallen. I'm surprised Bitcoin's not over $250,000 right now. There's so many things happening. We're at the cusp of an industrial revolution. I'm so excited to be alive. Let me finish what I gotta say. Because this is, and he knows I'm usually joking and laughing. I came in here serious because when I found this information out, this is some real important shit. Get this out there. The petrodollar is done. We're on the verge of maybe Trump is going to bring us into the Great Reset, which everybody was talking about, the World Economic Forum, talking about how they're talking about resetting everything. I think we're on the cusp of that, and we do have KAZ coming in later on today. He just called me because he found out some important things. There's things going on that I don't even know where to start. But the three things you have to understand that are going to change the world forever, okay? Blockchain technology, semiconductors, and computer chips. Okay, which is something that's going on in Ukraine right now.
Right.
The whole reason why America's there has nothing to do with democracy. It has nothing to do with freedom. It has nothing to do with sovereignty. It has to do with rare earth minerals they need to make computer chips. What do you think of that?
There is always an agenda of why the United States is somewhere. We've seen it before. Iran, they had a democracy. We put in a dictator there that we could control. So
The Shah.
Yeah, the Shah of Iran. It's ridiculous to think that we're bastions of democracy when we pull stuff like that. And that's not the first time, and that's not the last time. So as far as that goes, that drives me nuts. Oh, we're here for democracy.
It's
No,
not. It's
no.
not. It's for the rare earth
Never.
minerals. And
Or whatever else we can get from them.
Well,
Natural gas.
And natural gas they've
Whatever
been
else.
selling, and Victoria Nuland, who resigned 2 years ago, worked for the U.S. State Department, made
Let me
an
ask you-
abundance of money off that money they were, all the natural gas they were selling, Chevron, to Ukraine and Europe, sidelining Russia. Go ahead.
Oh, these old oil companies don't even get me started. They're the worst people I've ever read about in my life. The way they enslave people, the way that they keep Africa down. My God, Africa
Yeah,
should be
keep
filthy
subordinate,
rich.
right,
It's
right.
just disgusting.
They keep it
So
subordinate.
let me
You're
ask
right.
you this. Okay, you say that gold is $3,000 an ounce.
Yes.
Why is it that high? How does that go up and down?
Well,
Do you know anything about that?
Well,
at
I
all, or
do
no?
know a little bit, but
This is my theory on that.
Okay, go ahead.
This is why I think it's so high.
Well, there's a run on gold right now.
Well, no.
Our government is buying gold from England.
Mm-hmm.
This is why. Why are we buying gold from England? I mean, you hear the rumor that he wants to do President Trump wants to do some kind of half-ass audit, a live audit, to open up the Fort Knox.
the Fort Knox thing.
Yeah, I think.
'Cause he doesn't think there's anything there.
The rumor has it
He
that,
doesn't think there's anything
well,
there.
what they're doing is they're buying gold to put it in there.
it in there.
But I think it's more about inflation, and I think what he's trying to do with gold is to manipulate the Federal Reserve, which is not federal; it's the private bank, because the executive branch doesn't have the power to regulate, control the currency. That is the banks, and they're the ones that can control inflation and cut interest. So I think they're buying gold because there's something big going on.
Okay, so yeah, I believe there's something big going on. Now, here's the thing. I just read on this. I can't remember who's that Glenn Beck guy.
Glenn Beck, yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Glenn.
Anyway,
Man, he's been around for years. Go ahead.
anyway, I just read on something he had on there. It's $3,000
An ounce.
And,
Insane.
Yeah, that's very high, even for gold.
That things are crashing.
Well, here's the thing.
Which goes back to the dollar is done. The petrodollar is over.
What's a petrodollar?
The petrodollar's the dollars for oil. Okay.
Okay.
You know that. Where any country in the world that wants to buy oil, they have to use American dollars. It's done. The BRICS nations are hoarding gold and silver. Central banks, governments are hoarding gold. There's a run on gold right now. It's insanity.
Okay, so why I think it's that high is so to block the common man from buying gold. They can have, the oligarchs, the oligarchs.
It's more than that.
Zuckerberg, Bezos, and Elon Musk, and anybody else that's in that tax bracket. They can buy all the gold they want now, and nobody else is going to be able to get it.
Well,
because like somebody like me, I could buy maybe an ounce.
You could have bought an ounce in 2004. An ounce of gold was $300.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's so high now.
Okay.
That only the rich could buy it.
Okay, this is the thing. You want to know what's underpriced? Bitcoin right now is underpriced, even though it's 80. It went back down to 84,000. There's been a little setback.
Okay.
And also silver. I'm not a financial advisor, but I play one on television. How many times you hear that? Okay. If I were going to spend my money on an investment besides Bitcoin, would be silver. It is $30 an ounce. And what they're saying, through all this stuff going on, that silver is going to outprice gold possibly in the next 2 to 3 years, which means it'll be 1,000 times more than what it's worth. So if you were to put like $1,000 down on silver right now at $33 an ounce, you're talking maybe a pound. My God, if it goes to double, triple that, you just made your ass some serious money. Okay. So this is what tells me that there's something serious going on, Dean. And I know we got into a fist fight before we got on.
Yeah.
And
you can see the marks.
Is Trump changing the Federal Reserve? Is he replacing it? Is he manipulating the financial system? This is why everything is going to hell in a handbasket.
Let me ask you this. Okay, replace it with what?
Replace it with something different.
Well, I'm just trying to ask you. I don't know.
Blockchain. Some people, my sources told me, this is what my sources told me. Two different sources said two different things. Okay, the world is shifting from fiat currency to either blockchain or commodities. Commodities would either be gold or silver.
Yeah, I would venture that it would be the commodities first.
Well, how do you know it wouldn't be blockchain?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Okay, so this is the thing, Dean.
Yeah.
Okay, this is why I say America. Okay, Trump said this before. Although, I got to go back to what he said 6 years ago. He didn't like Bitcoin. Now all of a sudden he likes Bitcoin? So I don't know. But he did say... He
flip-flops all the time.
Oh, well, look, man, these guys all have...
He wanted TikTok before, now he loves it. Oh, I love the TikTok.
My mom still wanted, do they have a TikTok? Okay, whatever. I'm trying to be serious because this is some serious stuff.
No.
You heard it here first. It's happening. The petrodollar, get out of here. It's done. And they're shifting towards another form of currency. But you asked me why I say maybe a blockchain. Mm-hmm. Because Trump wants to make America the Bitcoin capital of the world.
Well, I can see that.
And you have to understand, okay, whoever controls these things, semiconductors, computer chips, blockchain, that's the new oil and gas.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing on that, though. Well, and once again, this is just Trump being Trump, I guess, because he had said before he does not like the green. He doesn't like the electric cars, but he's with Musk. He doesn't like this.
That's a contradiction.
He is a walking contradiction. We cannot go by him. We just can't.
I'm not going by him, but I'm going by people who are telling him what to do.
Well, I understand that. But
he's being, you got to do what I told you. Yeah. We're back to that. But like I said, this could be either really good.
Because he's compromised.
But this could be either really good or really bad, Dean.
Well,
and I don't know. I really don't. And I'm trying to. And when I see something huge is going to happen, I even heard about Bank of America, Skank of America, is going to issue their stable coin. They want to issue a stable coin.
What is that?
Stable coin is, again, it's a part of the blockchain.
Okay.
It's a blockchain.
Okay.
And it is the merger between crypto and fiat, but now that fiat's gone, it'll totally be crypto. So I also heard the government wants to issue their version of a stable coin. This is some big stuff I heard in the last 24 hours. And from what I see, everything is tethered together. Why they're in Ukraine for precious metals.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. What's going to happen to Taiwan now when U.S. has an abundance of precious earth minerals that make computer chips? They don't need Taiwan. Is this going to give China the green light to say, hey, America won't do nothing. We'll take it.
It could. I don't know exactly. Well, it depends on what else Taiwan has to offer us. To be honest with you, I mean that is right now we have them in our hip pocket because they need protection from China because there's no freaking way they can even challenge China at all and militarily.
Of course not.
There's no way.
The only thing saving them is the computer chips.
The only thing saving them is us.
Because
without us, China could walk in and not fire one shot.
it's the computer chips that are saving them. Because if they don't have the computers, now that they have a threshold and a stronghold in Ukraine, they don't need Taiwan. Taiwan is expendable as Zelensky, which I said on this show before that he's out. He's out. Fiat currency's out. Dogs living with cats. Mass hysteria.
It'll be anarchy.
I mean, this is some serious stuff. I'm trying to make it as serious as I can.
Right.
But now, moving on to other things, another thing I'm concerned about is in order to negotiate with Russia, Europe and the European banks have over $300 billion of Russian money in their banks. They have to give back. So that's going to be a big thing right now that they're going to talk about.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is that part of the sanctions?
Those are the sanctions. The sanctions.
Okay.
Russia wants those sanctions.
You mean the sanctions that don't work?
Exactly.
They
Thank you very
don't
much.
work.
I agree with you.
All they do, they don't work because they're trying to get the Russian government to do whatever they want for whatever reasons. I mean, this is across the board sanctions. They don't work. All they do is they hurt the actual people of the country.
That's it.
Not the government.
That's it. No.
The government's
Not at
like,
all.
man, we don't care.
No. Of course they don't care. No. And
It's
you're
insane.
absolutely right.
I hate it.
Sanctions suck.
They're stupid.
No, they don't do anything, and in
Or
order
they
to
hurt the
negotiate,
people.
well, of course, but in order to negotiate, they have to, lift the sanctions and give them back that fucking money. Can
Yeah.
you imagine if somebody had $300 billion worth of American money in their banks? What do you think would happen?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
There'd be a war.
Well, there always is. You don't even have to hold our money. You looked at us wrong, we're going to war.
Right.
It's always about resources, you know that.
Yep.
But if there's anything else you want to elaborate, I know we're talking about.
Not on that.
You mentioned something about.
The measles?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there's a measles outbreak in Texas. And I understand that people think that these vaccines are bad. And maybe there's some stuff in these vaccines that are bad that need to be taken out. Absolutely, I'm not against that. My problem is they're doing absolutely nothing. So a child died the other day from this that could have been prevented.
How many? How many children have
One.
died from it? So how is that?
That's
an
from this outbreak. No, the outbreak is that
So
there's...
what do you consider an outbreak? How many people have to die before it's an outbreak?
Okay, hold on. No, an outbreak of measles. That means there's...
That's one child in the last 10 years.
You're not listening to me.
I'm not listening.
There's over 156 people that have the measles in West Texas. And there's 14 in New Mexico.
Is that unusual?
Yes.
Is it
I'm
unusual?
going to tell you why it's unusual. Because we had eradicated it through these vaccines.
That's what they say.
Well, we hadn't had any outbreaks of measles before.
Dean,
now 20 is an outbreak because we're not supposed to have it.
I find it funny that you have somebody within the government now that is questioning the vaccine, and then all of a sudden we have a fucking outbreak. That's almost like, oh my God, let's shut the whole country down because you got the sniffles. And what did that do? Didn't do anything.
Well, let me tell
they
you.
rolled out their AI. People lost their homes. They lost their asses. We're still trying to get back on
Okay, so
track.
he's the health guy, right? Robert F. Kennedy
No, he's
Jr.?
better than the other health guy
No.
that wore a dress.
Hold on. He's the health guy, right? There's measles are in Texas. What's he doing?
What's he doing? What's he supposed to do?
Don't know.
Give everybody the vaccine
I'm
and
not
it's
the
going to
guy.
go away?
No, no. Well, no, not gonna. It's supposed to go away. Yeah, that's what happened before.
Yeah, but one person dying is not okay. Now we're back to the scamdemic. Oh my God, you got the flu. Let's shut the whole fucking school down. You know what it was like to go to work? We're gonna check your fever. Or if you got a fever, you got a sore throat, you got to go home. Why don't they do that no more?
What?
Check people for fever.
Well, because we didn't have a vaccine.
You have a vaccine.
We didn't have a vaccine
is
for
not
the
doing
COVIDs.
much. But you have an aggressive cancer that they're not talking about either. We've talked about that.
These aggressive cancers as well. What?
You don't question the vaccine. Come on.
Well,
I find
I
it
know.
funny. I
I
find
know.
it funny that you have somebody in charge that is questioning the vaccine. He's not really against it. He just wants to clean it. He wants to get all the additives
Okay,
out.
okay. Is he doing that?
I don't know.
I don't know what he's
They've
doing.
only been there for 30 days. I got more important issues here,
They're
buddy.
doing a lot of other crap.
And the Fed, well, he ain't doing that. That's much bigger than him, trust me.
Well,
It's much
yeah,
bigger
but
than
still.
Trump. Ending the Fed is much bigger than Trump. Or changing the whole system has more to do with other things. And you know that.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you, we didn't have measles before,
Well,
and then
we've
people
had measles.
stopped taking these vaccines because they thought it causes autism, which is no scientific.
There's no scientific
There's
proof.
no science, none
So then
whatsoever.
what is causing autism?
I
McDonald's?
don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Could be.
All right.
We don't even know if that's
Okay.
meat.
Okay, well, I agree with that. But let me ask you a question. Was it 5 years ago that 2 kids died from Legionnaire disease? What did they do about that? That's something we haven't seen in like 50 years.
Oh, no.
They're going to make a vaccine for Legionnaire disease?
Nope, you're wrong again on that because we did see that before. If I recall, I want to say 2000, there was a
Why wasn't
Legionnaire's disease that went through a
why
hotel.
why wasn't there an outbreak? Was there an outbreak?
No, because they contained it.
Did it contain it?
That's
Okay.
what they said.
Well, that's what they said.
Well-
But back then we didn't have anybody that was questioning the vaccine either.
Well, no, but you question everything.
Well, of course you question everything, but
So,
but
I can question
my
stuff.
point: why haven't they developed a vaccine for cancer?
That's a good question. Don't know. Not a doctor.
No,
Not a
not
doctor.
a doctor, but I play one on television.
Didn't
Well, I'm
even
not
say
ahead of the
what
Fed. Not ahead of the Fed, but I know what's going on.
That hasn't happened yet.
Well, it's on the verge, and that's why everything's going to hell in a handbasket, buddy.
I'm just wondering.
Get used to it.
The crystal ball you're looking through.
Uh,
When is this supposed to happen?
It's on the verge right now. There's
Is that-
a reason why.
Yeah, but, I mean, is there a timeline? Is there?
I don't know about a timeline.
Well, I mean,
but
is
what
it
I'm telling
6
you,
months from now, or
this
we-
is what's going to happen. Okay.
Well, I'm just asking.
This banking system, the whole money, the whole monetary system is not going to last, Dean. The petrodollar's done, and you know it.
Well, listen.
They keep printing money like it's going out of style because it is.
Well, I'm asking you when is
This can happen with the next month to the
That's
next
what I'm
3
asking.
months.
Well,
You
that's
don't
what
know.
I'm- that's what I'm
The
wondering.
system,
Okay.
they're changing the system
So-
right now as we speak.
So now,
okay?
what I'm saying is, a year from now.
A year from now, you could be looking at a whole new monetary system.
No, what I'm saying is, a year from now, it should be different.
It should.
Okay. So we've got a while.
Well, who knows? I mean, it could be 3 weeks before. Like I said, things that are going to happen. There is a reason why gold is $3,000 an ounce. It has nothing to do with measles.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say it did.
just saying.
I said it.
Well,
I
I
think
think
it's
that-
high because they're kicking the common man out.
It's more than that.
Well,
If the common man were smart, he would have bought this shit 10 years ago when it was $500 an ounce.
Okay.
Just like if Bitcoin goes to 500,000, you're going to hear people say, "Oh, it's too expensive." Those were the people that were telling me, "Don't fucking invest in it because it ain't going to do shit." Those same people are going to tell me when it's 250,000 to cash out. I'm not going to listen to those people, and I just broke my phone.
Oh, that's okay. That's not the first time you broke it. Listen, I want to. How about this? How about we speculate? Can we speculate?
That's what
I want to
we're doing.
speculate. Listen, I think, and this is my speculation. This is my own opinion. I think that the rich are kicking the common man out of a lot of things.
Of course
not
they
just
are.
not. I mean a lot of things. For I'm talking like sports venues. It is a.
That's the private corporations that have done that for years. I've
My
seen that set
God.
up in the 90s.
My God, it costs so much money just to see a
course.
ball game.
Of
I
course.
can't. If I had a family of 4, I'd have to take out a small loan to go to the ball
It's
game.
ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Why is it so much to see a ball game?
Well, what
Okay,
does that tell you?
That's one. They're
Devaluation of the currency, man.
right.
Tell
That
me.
too.
Well, that's a part of what we're talking about.
you go to a sports event, you cannot use your money in there.
No, what was I just saying about the whole system changing?
Yeah.
Everything is going
They,
digital.
they said, well, no, you can buy
You just
this card.
You just answered my
You can-
question. Thank
I'm
you
just
very
trying
much.
to tell you that I think that the
It's right there. It's
the rich-
happening.
It says right on here. I even pulled this out when I tried to buy a ball cap in San Diego. I said, it says here, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. You're telling me my money's no good here. That doesn't make any sense.
It is no good.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
fiat currency. You think you just answered my question right
No,
there.
no.
It's already changed. It's already changing.
But things
and
are
it's in the
so
process.
expensive now.
And it's going to get worse.
Cars. My God, cars. The common man's not going to be able to have a car pretty soon.
Or a house.
Or the houses are going crazy.
Real estate's going to keep
It's
going up.
insane.
Food's going to keep going up.
Food is ridiculous right now.
And I guess the tax tariffs probably won't help either.
No, let's talk about these eggs.
Well, okay,
My
go ahead.
God,
Go ahead.
these eggs are so expensive. But I looked into this. Canada's eggs are right around $3, and that's their money.
But their gas is ridiculous.
Well,
though.
okay, but I'm just talking about eggs.
It's ridiculous.
Mexico sells them for $1.89 a dozen. Why are they so expensive here? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand that at all. I think that these egg producing companies are taking advantage of this avian flu stuff.
They could.
Oh, they're
Very
definitely doing that.
That could be part of it.
I'm not a. You know what? If they went up to 350, okay. Okay. Bird flu. But right now, I paid
Another man-made disease, by the way.
I paid
I'm sure Dr.
five-
Fauci had his hands on that one.
$5.74 for a dozen eggs yesterday.
It's ridiculous.
What's ridiculous is I keep buying.
But because you love eggs.
I do.
You're going to turn into an egg, and pretty
I
soon you're
have-
going to lay an egg one.
I
once
eat
out.
5 to 6 eggs a day.
So
They're delicious.
they are, and they're healthy too. So it goes back to what you were saying. Well, if you were in Iraq, you can get a gallon of gas for like 80
80
cents a
cents.
gallon.
Yeah, but they're sitting on the oil.
Of course, and we are sitting on oil too
That we don't use.
that we don't
That's
use.
why our gas is $3.
Of course. So
Not
we
80
we
cents.
agree on that. We
Yeah.
agree on that.
It-
We should use our
we
own
should be
oil.
using
We
our
drive
own
down cost.
That's one
And
thing.
and this
I
is
do
why
agree
and
with.
this is why I'm
Absolutely.
saying that this is all happening in real time, and so I'm so excited because you're not going to see it right away, but you got to look at the trends. You got to look at the forecasting. You got to see that gold is at an all-time high. You got to see that the dollar's been devaluated. You got to see debt at 46 trillion. There has to be something that's going to it can't just keep going like this.
Right.
So they're changing the system
Maybe.
as we know it.
It's hard.
And that's
for me
what
to
I'm
argue.
saying.
It's hard to argue right now. It's hard to argue against.
We're at the
It
cusp.
could happen.
We're at the cusp of the beginning of a new industrial revolution.
Let me ask you
And it's
this.
very exciting.
Okay, so people are upset with Doge still.
Yeah.
So they're claiming they're saving all this money. Where's this money going?
It should be coming back to us, shouldn't it? Didn't they say they were
Should.
going to write us a check for $5,000? Which I
Who
see
said
it
that?
when I believe it.
Who said that?
Well, they were saying that even in the mainstream news.
I don't.
That was even right up your alley. That was corporate media was saying
I
that.
don't watch mainstream news.
Well, you know what Mark Twain said? If you read the news,
he said.
you're
I know what he said.
He said, if you don't read the news, you're ill-informed. If you read the news, you're misinformed.
He
So
did say that. He
that's
also
the
said that the reports of my death were extremely exaggerated.
Nevertheless, you don't know what you can believe, but you can forecast some things by looking at certain things in the market. Gold is one thing that I cannot believe it's $3,000. I remember when it was like fucking $200 an
I
ounce.
want to know where that money's going.
Which money are we talking
The
about?
ones who are saving so much money by firing all these people.
It's going somewhere.
This is hilarious to me.
It should come back to us.
Musk is making $8 million a day. That I added this up. You're just under $3 billion a year from contracts with the United States, right? I know how we could trim $3 billion real quick. Get rid of him. I don't understand why he's around. As far as the SpaceX stuff crap goes, who cares?
Money talks, bullshit walks.
I'm so tired of going to space. We got people.
Are we going into space? What the fuck they doing up there?
Who cares? We got people starving in the streets. Oh, let's go to Mars. Well, how about you put your resources into Mars is uninhabitable. Put your resources in the earth. Fix the earth.
They can't even go to the moon. You think they're going to go to Mars?
Well, I don't know anything about that stuff. I don't care about the moon. I don't care about space exploration. There's no reason for it. The only thing I like is the fact that we put satellites up there so my phone works.
Sometimes it don't.
Yeah,
but why
that's
does
not even
satellite
reliable.
TV suck?
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, that is the worst thing ever.
That is the weirdest thing ever.
When it's windy out, it shuts down.
Yeah, why is it? That doesn't make
I
any
don't know,
sense.
satellite TV, I mean, you couldn't give it to me for free.
You know
man.
what? I think we have too much space junk up there.
We got a
We
lot
got,
of space
we got
junk
so
down
many
here,
satellites up there. I'm just trying to, it's just a what? It's too much.
Too. I know. And like I said,
We're polluting the space.
there's just so much stuff going on. And if you go back to Ukraine and Zelensky, and how he's handpicked. He's a puppet. He should know this. And what America wants is the rare earth minerals because they're scared that Africa has a strong. I should say not Africa. China has a stronghold on Africa, and they have an abundance of rare minerals, and they're scared that we're going to get cut off. So it has nothing to do with freedom. Die for freedom. Nothing to do. Everything is about money.
And
Money talks, bullshit walks, and that's what they're doing. And from what Kaz was telling me, he was trying to tell. He's going to come in later on in our studio.
The Great Kazoo.
Yeah, right. He should just appear.
He's awesome.
So
I do like
we're
him.
going to talk about how apparently we're still in Ukraine and we're not going to go anywhere. And apparently England wants to put boots on the ground. So this Ukrainian war is not really over, even though they're trying to negotiate. And you're not going to have any negotiations, number one, until England and the West lift the sanctions on Russia. Like you said, sanctions are worthless.
But they have to talk.
Right.
You're not going to get anywhere without talking. Oh, we're going to place sanctions on you, and we're not talking to you.
Right.
I'm not talking to you.
So, why that? It sounds like two gay people fighting. I'm
like
not
a
talking
battered-
to you
like a-
because he wore those lips.
Like a battered wife. I'm not talking to you. That doesn't
Right.
make any sense.
So I mean, there's just like I said, there's so many things going on right now that I don't even know where to
What
start
else we got
anymore.
here? Huh?
The measles outbreak,
Yeah,
the
we talked
currency.
about that. Austerity.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
We didn't talk about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I totally forgot about all the midst of all this stuff going on.
Yeah, it happens.
Austerity now. Okay, is that hitting us? That happened in Greece. It happened in most parts of Europe when they crashed. Basically, it's a financial tool used by the banks of the government to take back the debt that they created. And I know the Greek people got bamboozled because their politicians are just as sold out as our politicians back in 2008, 2009, when they signed on to a private debt that wasn't even theirs. Mm-hmm. And what happened to my aunt and uncle in Greece was they taxed their pension to pay back the debt.
Right.
Are we at that moment in this country? It's a financial tool. Like I said, the first thing they do is they cut the government spending, they limit government spending, and they raise taxes. So they haven't raised taxes, but if they raise taxes in the midst of all this, this could be austerity.
They might not have to cut government spending because they're firing all these people that make $80,000 a year. Doge is taking care of it for us.
Look, as long as they
It's
don't go
insane.
after Medicare, I should say,
They are.
which they said they wouldn't do.
Wise.
But I mean, that's the beginning phases of austerity. Is you start
That's a
cutting
lot.
those government options. Is Trump going to ring in the Great Reset and austerity?
I think it's horrible that we have to worry about our Social Security and our Medicaid and Medicare because of his rantings. We just don't know what he's going to do.
I don't know, brother.
March 4th, that's coming up, right? That's
Yes,
that's
it
the
is.
tariffs.
So yeah, there'll be a profound effect on your eggs.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And you know what we also get from Canada nobody talks about is meat. We get a lot of meat
We get a
from
lot of
Canada.
cattle from them, yeah.
So I remember, was it Rick last week said, they're a wart on our ass.
A wart on our
Yeah,
ass.
that's what he said. He says that
Oh,
in
he
Canada,
did say
yeah,
that.
Rick said-
I don't see that.
No, yeah, well, I don't know if he knows that we get our meat from there. So
He
unless
might-
you're a vegan, you would like that because you're not going to eat meat. But
Right.
I think by the look of Rick, he looks like he eats meat.
A lot of people eat meat.
Yeah, of
I eat
course.
meat.
I know you do. Nevertheless,
Meat's delicious.
oh, Jesus. If we haven't been banded, we'll be banded now.
But we still have our one and only number one fan. I'd like to put a shout out to, his name is Jordan. We're not going to use his last name. But he loves us for some reason, and he's one of our 15 subscribers.
Oh yeah, Jordan. That's right. Listen to us, buddy, because you're the only one keeping us on air, man.
Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
right,
have
George. Shout out to George.
maybe we'll have him on here one time. That'd be great.
That would be great. He
That'd
would
be
probably
cool.
show us something or two.
Maybe. I
Tell
don't
you
know.
some things.
He might.
Right. Nevertheless, but we got to do it's time for our asshole of the week.
It's time for our asshole of the week. Would you like me to go first?
You're gonna go first.
I'm going with
I'm winded.
I am going for the egg producers. I think they're price gouging.
All right. Okay, welcome back to Two Deans and No Waiting. And we have Kaz back with us tonight.
Hey,
Welcome,
Because-
Kaz.
Welcome back, because I'll tell you what, this is like the most important show I think we've ever had. I want to elaborate on what we were talking about. Dean and I were talking about how is Trump secretly replacing the U.S. Federal Reserves.
Yes.
And how this, like, to you and I, this is like big stuff, man.
Yes.
Getting rid of the Fed is like possibly, it has to be like a step in the right direction. And there's a reason why governments all over the world are hoarding gold. The BRICS nations, central banks. What's
Absolutely.
going on? Our government buying all this gold from England. Is this like the end of the world as we know it? The sky falling? Gold is $3,000 an ounce. What's going on, man? This is crazy
it's
news.
Crazy. I don't think crazy is the right word, though. I honestly believe what's going on is like all parties are involved and everybody is on the same team. Yet you have the Democrats, you have the Republicans, you have the Independents, but they're all on the same team. The problem
Of course they are.
is that yes, you are absolutely right. They are buying gold left and right, and there's reasons
There's
for
a
it.
reason for it.
But the thing is every country has a different reason, yet they're all related, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Okay. I know the BRICS nations, and I've read an article months ago about how Russia wants to back the ruble with silver. That's freaking huge. Now, when I see this, commodities are it, man. Besides the three things that are changing everything, the computer chips,
Right?
of course we're talking about the blockchain and the semiconductors. They're changing the whole face of everything right now. It's the beginning phases of the next industrial revolution. AI, transhumanism, and we have a guy in the White House now pushing this. You talked about him, Elon Musk.
Yes.
The computer chip. Is this New World? Is this the World Economic Forum talk about the Great Hold on. The World Economic Forum talk about the Great Reset. Is Trump going to ring in the Great Reset?
Oh, absolutely. And he's going to do it. It's multifaceted. Well, let's get back to what you just said a few minutes ago. Is this the end of the Fed? It absolutely is, because when they usher in the digital currency, and I do believe that will be sometime in 2015, there's going to be no need for the
You
Fed.
mean 25?
2025. There's going to be no need for the Fed because everything's going to be digitized. They're going to know every single penny that you spend, and there's no
Right.
need for the Fed, and there won't be a need for the FBI either.
So my sources told me, and I told Dean, and I can't reveal who they are. It's not Bugs Bunny, okay? It's not Tweety Bird, but there's some people who know people that told me, possibly within a month, you might see Skank of America introduce their stablecoin.
Oh, I believe that. Yes, I certainly
And our
believe-
government too.
I honestly believe that the digital currency is going to be something that's brand new. It is not going to be anything that is currently available. It's going to be a brand new type of digital currency.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. So, not that I'm pretending. I really don't know how this works. What I'm wondering is, does he need Congress to do any of this? Or is he able to do it by himself? Or does he introduce it and then Congress comes in?
This is the thing I talked about before you came on here.
Right.
The reason why we are hoarding, buying gold from England, it's not to put it into Fort Knox where people thinking he wants to do a live audit to make it look like we have gold. I think now that they're buying this gold because he wants to manipulate the financial system, right? Because he can't do what he just said. The Federal Reserve has the power to change monetary policies, print money, also lower interest. He can't do that.
No,
so
he can't
this
do
is
that.
why he's buying gold.
Well, no, that's
so
what I'm asking.
So to answer your question, no, he can't do that. There's guidelines that are set up in the Constitution. Even the Federal Reserve, the way it's ran right now, is unconstitutional.
course.
There is no mention of the Fed
Right.
in the Constitution whatsoever. Everything is supposed to run through the Treasury.
So okay, so this is the thing. This is a step in the right direction, or you think it's not?
It's not. It's just smoke and mirrors, as we both know.
But this is big. This is huge.
What?
If I would have told you 10 years ago that we're going to get rid of the Fed, you'd tell me to go fly a fucking kite in a storm.
Right,
Come on.
right.
You'd be like, hey, come on, man. They ain't getting rid of the Fed. So he's doing this.
But he's doing it, yes, and he's going to get rid of the Fed because it's going to be obsolete once everything is digitized. Every single
already is.
thing.
It already
It is technically,
A lot of it
is.
but every single thing that you do is going to be digitized to the penny. And what's going to happen is what people miss is, oh, he's going to get rid of the IRS. You're not going to need the Fed. You're not going to need the IRS because
they're going to take it right out of their bank account.
it's going to be a running
Right.
tally from January 1st to December 31st and come back around to January 1st again. Your taxes are all going to be done.
Right, it's going to be
They
done.
won't be done on January 1st.
It's AI, brother.
Yes.
It's like I said. It's
Do you guys find this scary?
It's extremely
yes,
scary
and
because
exciting.
You will have zero freedoms because what's going to happen
That's
is
what I'm looking at.
that
Well,
okay?
we already don't.
Let's say you buy a gun, okay, and here in Michigan we have to register our handguns, so they already know you got it.
Right.
But they don't know you have long guns because those don't have to be registered.
Right.
But how they figure out what guns you have is by the ammunition that you buy.
Right.
You're not going to buy XYZ ammunition if you've got an ABC gun, right?
So
It's all about big.
What
brother.
what about this though? What if I buy it as a gift for someone else?
Well, you can't. You can only transfer that if it's a long gun. If it's a handgun,
I'm not talking about the gun. I'm talking about the ammo.
oh, but the thing is, it's still going to be registered in your name, and they're going to come knocking on your door and say, "Hey, where's this ammo that you bought, 2 months ago?" Because now we're rounding it all up.
Okay.
I still think the small man can make a little money off this if you forecast this right.
I think what you said earlier was true, and I'm thinking about going and buying silver myself
because
it's cheap.
Because silver
Yes.
is the thing. Is what I said before. You
Right.
you rudely interrupted our podcast.
Rudely interrupted.
Came in here
Rudely.
screaming and yelling, and they want to kick us out of here
I don't think
now.
it was rude.
There's a Greek and a Mexican and a white guy. Get them all out of here. Out of here.
I
Okay,
know,
so
this is
A
gross.
Greek, a Mexican, and a white guy all walk into a bar.
Ow.
yeah, right. But we can go a lot of places with that. But we want to make this show kind of serious because I think this is the most important show we've had yet.
Yeah.
And I want people to get this out there. But he's right that silver. I think that's my next venture. It's 35 cents. I'm sorry. It's
$33 is what you said.
I'm sorry. $33 an ounce. This thing could quadruple.
Yeah, well-
especially if commodities. I mean, you got to think about the natural resources that they're getting over in Ukraine. Everything is tethered together, man.
Well, the thing about silver and gold, what people don't understand, is that they are supposed to be coordinated together. Silver is always supposed to be like between 15 and 20% lower than gold,
Right.
typically.
And it's not.
And right
We're
now,
right.
there's about an 80% gap
Yeah.
between silver and gold, might even 85%. So what that means is that silver has to catch up, which means
It's going to outperform gold.
If it's going to
in the next
close
few
that
years.
percentage point, it's got to outperform gold.
It will.
Crazily.
It will.
I think so because it's so cheap.
And
like
it's
that.
35
I
cents.
get 3 ounces for $100.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'm telling you, they're changing over the system as we know it. Now, I heard two things from two different sources that are good sources. One source tells me everything is going to blockchain. The other one says it'll be commodities. I don't know which one. So I'm thinking certain countries will have certain different things.
Certain countries are just not equipped to have.
Well,
blockchain.
no, Russia. Okay, yes. So they'll do
Nice.
commodities. They'll do
Right.
commodities. I think for the BRICS nations kind of want gold and silver. So that's why I say silver, man, is priced so low, along with Bitcoin.
Right.
I'm so surprised Bitcoin is not over 150K right now. And I personally think blockchain technology is going to help Bitcoin even more, because Bitcoin is blockchain technology.
Yeah, well, see, but Bitcoin isn't that high right now, I think, is because for some reason.
It's gone down.
For some reason.
83,000.
For some reason, Bitcoin goes the way of the stock market. And right now, the
You know
stocks
what?
are going down.
You know what?
I don't know why they're tied.
You know what, Dean? You're half right. You're kind of right. It kind of does. It kind of don't. Last few weeks, it's been teetering off. It's been going off alone into doing its own thing. But sometimes it is, and it looks like it now. Everything. I think it's because of what's going to happen. I think right now there's going to be a system shock.
The one thing
There's going to be a system shock, and there's a reason why this is all happening. Why gold is being hoarded.
Yes, and we'll get into that. But I want to touch on like I said, on the Bitcoin and all the lesser coins. Not that they're lesser, but just
Oh, they're
lesser.
lesser.
You're talking
other
about
ones.
you're talking about the meme coins.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
stable
and
coins.
Ethereum and all that
Ethereum,
stuff and all
yes.
those. Okay, so like I said, when they create the digital currency for the United States, it's going to be a brand new currency. It's going to be none of what the ones are currently available.
Right.
And what that
Yeah.
means is, and I've been saying this for years, and you know this, I've been calling it for years, they're going to crash all of them.
Oh, we know that.
And then they're going to create a new one.
They're doing that now.
And they're going to say this new one is backed by gold.
But
That's how they're going to sell it to the people.
backed by actual gold.
So
They're going to say it's going to be backed by actual gold. And I'll give you a hint. It doesn't matter how much is in Fort Knox.
Right.
Probably nothing.
Because they're just going to pull a number out of their butt and say, well, this is how many ounces are there. It's either going to scare the heck out of people,
Right.
or it's going to make them happy.
Right.
And
Isn't
so
that-
whoever's invested in it.
And then they're going to sell it
Whoever's-
to the people.
Well,
Isn't
Okay.
that
And the
interesting?
people
How
are gonna buy it.
we were just talking about that. I was asking about this. I'm like I said, I truly don't know this stuff. So I said, he said, this is a big deal. I said, is this kind of like a big deal like when FDR took us off the gold standard?
No. FDR didn't take us up. Nixon took us off.
Nixon took us off the gold standard.
FDR confiscated the gold.
Yeah.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
like Bretton Woods on steroids.
Yeah.
But now you're telling
This
me.
is huge.
But now you're telling me that the crypto's going to be backed by gold.
Yeah, well,
That's interesting.
But hang on,
I think that's very interesting.
Let me
So
explain
wait.
this.
You better explain it
let me
because I already
explain
got
this purpose.
PK the coin guy blowing up my
Okay.
phone.
So you take a dollar bill, all right?
Right.
What's a dollar bill backed by?
It's
Gold.
backed by shit.
It's
Well,
backed by nothing.
my-
Yeah,
nothing
gold.
now.
Yeah,
It used to be gold.
Yeah,
Backed by
1944.
Yeah.
Okay, now they're gonna say that the digital currency is backed by gold. What's the digital currency?
Bitcoin.
It's nothing. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
hold it.
No, you
It's
can't.
invisible.
Okay. Well,
So
let
what's
me
the
kind
difference?
of disagree to agree
What's
here.
the difference?
Okay, blockchain doesn't need to be backed by anything but electricity.
Oh yeah, that's about it.
But I got news for you. In the next 50 to 100 years, money is going to be electricity.
It possibly could. I'm sure they'll change it by that.
That's
point
how
as
long.
well.
So now you're giving me even more confidence in Bitcoin.
Maybe I'll be dead.
Because
by
well, my daughter will be rich.
But no,
Yeah.
it's
Fuck her.
But Dino, it's not gonna be Bitcoin. Bitcoin, they're going to eliminate all the coins except for the ones.
They're not going to eliminate Bitcoin.
Yes, they are.
No.
I believe
Bitcoin will be around. They'll probably eliminate the meme coins.
I
You don't need the
absolutely
meme coins.
believe
Guys, don't
they
you
will
understand? They won't.
eliminate Bitcoin.
They won't eliminate Bitcoin. He bought too much of it.
I know.
You think I did?
But
Yes,
hey,
Goldman
Dean,
Sachs.
Hey Dean, about 2 or 3 years ago.
So when are they going to eliminate
Hang on.
Bitcoin?
I'll talk for a second.
About 2 or 3 years ago, people were refinancing their homes and taking that money and buying Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Some people were, some people weren't. But this is the thing: we were buying when it was $5,000.
That's fine.
Okay, Bitcoin is not going to go away. Just like the dollar's done. Okay, the reason why I say that I'm not saying it's going to go. Look, okay, it's going to be here because of the technology, because of blockchain. Okay, the dollar's done because they destroyed
right,
it.
right.
Now they could create their own different type of government coin, which would be a stable coin.
Right.
I can see that.
Right.
So you have some kind of government stable coin. Bank of America will have their stable coin, and Bitcoin will still be around.
I agree with Kaz, and I'm going to tell you something. The government does not like competition.
Of course
Exactly.
they don't.
And you know how you can prove that?
They don't.
I'll tell you how you can prove that. when Kennedy created the silver certificates,
Yeah, they shot him.
that was one of the biggest reasons
They shot him in the head.
that they took him out.
But then you got a lot of people thinking that Mossad played a part in killing Kennedy, because Kennedy also told the Israelis, "I'll never give you nuclear weapons."
Right.
Yeah.
So there's many reasons why they killed Kennedy. I understand, comrade, but don't tell me my bit going to go away is like telling a
Am I?
Russian that he has no more vodka.
Just saying. Is there another?
I don't think it's going to go away. It's going to be here for a
What's
while.
another kind of currency right now?
What's another kind of currency? Everything is fiat shit
That's
currency,
what I'm
basically.
trying to tell you.
Yeah.
The government does not like
I
competition.
Yeah,
get
and-
that. I get
and-
that. But you will start a.
I
Do
hear
you think that's going to
I-
happen
I
in the
hear
next,
you,
what,
Dean.
year or 2 years?
I
What do
hear
you
you,
think?
Dino, but they're going to
Bitcoin's
eliminate.
now
They're going
eliminate.
to eliminate all the challengers.
Well,
They're gonna eliminate
what I think, like I said, the government's going to have their version of stablecoin. Skank of America will have their version of stablecoin. The government and the private sector will be kind of two different.
Here's how they can get rid of it too. Dean, we're going to come out with this stable coin, right? This is the United States currency
I'm
now.
not
From
gonna
now
touch that
on,
with a
it's going to
10-foot
be
pole.
called stable coin, whatever you
Right,
call it.
right.
Okay, Trump coin. I don't care what you call it. Doesn't matter. But this is going to be our currency now. We're going to give you a chance to give us your Bitcoin, and we'll give you the equivalent, or even maybe 10% extra, just because we want all your Bitcoin. And so we're going to trade you that, and then Bitcoin will be gone.
Yes.
I don't. This is not going to happen anytime soon.
Well,
Well, maybe not, but I'm just saying it will happen because
You could talk a 30, 40, 50 years
They don't
down
like
the
it.
road. I mean,
Yeah.
just like the dollar, you could say.
Yeah.
They've been saying for years the dollar's gone, and we're living it right now, but it took a while.
it took a long time.
But the petrodollar is done. The petrodollar is gone. It's gone. It's being replaced by whatever system they're going to bring in right now.
yeah.
If they
So
bring
whatever
the
system they're
in.
bringing in, if they're doing it right now, there's a reason why all these countries are hoarding the gold, and something huge is going to happen.
Yes.
And I keep saying that because it's
Yes.
going to freaking happen, and I
So,
just feel it in my
let's-
bones.
Let's go with that and let's talk about gold in relationships to the tariffs. And why are these other countries hoarding gold, and why is the United States hoarding gold as well?
They're buying gold.
They're right.
Buying gold from
hoarding,
England.
right.
and then they hoard it.
So that tells me that inflation is going to get
Oh,
higher.
inflation is not going to stop.
I know it's
But-
not.
but
And he doesn't have the power to stop it, and
No.
that's why he's
Well,
buying gold.
he could if he really wanted to.
He doesn't. No,
could.
president. The executive branch is limited on that, and you know that. That's the Fed. The central, the private banks
they can
are the
influence
ones
them, though.
that do
Right.
that, and they've been manipulating the dollar for years.
Yep. Well,
So
That's why it sucks.
go ahead, Dean.
I'm just saying that the president can influence it. How is it that Carter
monetary policies.
Carter couldn't do shit, and inflation was sky high then, as you remember.
Yeah, 20% interest.
It was insane. But Reagan got on there, and all of a sudden,
Okay.
deflated. It went down almost immediately.
Okay,
it was
okay,
amazing.
Okay, hold on.
Hooray.
Carter.
So how did that happen?
Right.
Well, I'll tell you how. Carter was president in what, 76?
76 to 80, yeah.
What happened 4 years before? Bretton Woods.
Right.
That's when they devaluated the currency.
Yeah.
So that was 4 years after they took gold out of the dollar. You'd think maybe that had something to do with inflation?
I didn't say it didn't.
Well,
what
I'm
I'm
just
saying
saying.
is all of a sudden Reagan came in and everything was roses.
Well, it wasn't
Unicorns.
really roses because they were paying high interest rates on
Well, I
houses.
understand that.
know
I understand that, but what I'm saying
Well,
is
and
inflation
that's a whole
went down.
other can of worms. We can get into that, but let's
Right.
let's stay away from that for right
Right.
now. Let's get back to gold and find out what's going on with gold. So today is Friday. It is
The 28th.
February 28th, and on March 4th, the tariffs start for Canada and for Mexico, and the European countries are paying attention to this. And Dino brings up a good point. What's going on with all the gold purchases? And this is what it is, and it's very easy to figure out, is that the BRICS nations, Canada and Mexico, they are all getting into the gold because that is the only thing,
Hoarding it too.
right, that is the only thing that saves them
From inflation.
from inflation
Already
and
know.
from the US dollar and the tariffs. My point being
They know this.
is that they're gonna supposedly pay this tax. So they're hoarding the gold and they're betting on the US dollar to crash.
Yeah, I
The
can see
U.S.
that.
dollar crash has happened, I
Right.
think. It's already happened. That's what I said. The petrodollar's done. I mean,
Right.
I was telling him 2 hours ago. And he's looking at me cross-eyed, huh?
I didn't, well, because I didn't know what it,
So-
I didn't even know what a petrodollar was.
So-
Okay,
so the offset
okay, no,
is-
hold on. Okay, to talk about what you're
So-
saying. To finish what you're saying about the dollar in all these countries.
So the offset is
know this, and
right. The offset is as gold increases in value, the U.S. dollar decreases in value. So this is the hedge on the tariffs. This is what these other countries are doing. They are betting that the U.S. dollar gets eliminated.
okay, and they're hoping. That's
Yes.
what Brinks wants.
Yes.
But this has all been self-inflicted. This
Oh,
is all
absolutely.
done by the Zionists of this country who
Yes.
control the international banks. They know what they're doing.
Yes.
They know they've been destroying. I mean, the fractional banking I've talked about on here. We got banks lending out money they don't have.
Oh, they've been doing that for years.
They've been doing that for years.
Decades and decades.
And I talk about austerity. How do we know that we're not going through austerity right now? The only thing they haven't done is raise taxes. Well, hold on, before you say something. Okay, and I explained to him that's a financial tool that they use when
Yes.
your government's bankrupt. They want the debt that they created, they want it back through taxation without representation.
Yes.
Well, hold on. So this is in the process of possibly happening because Trump comes in. He limits government spending. He cuts out the fat. He's cutting government options. The only thing he hasn't done is raise taxes. If he raised taxes, we're going through austerity. That's some big shit. There's some crazy stuff happening right now, and my blood pressure's got to be 200 over 200 right now. So go ahead before I have a heart attack.
I see the veins.
You know,
I know.
the whole taxes thing and the IRS, okay? You can eliminate the IRS once we go digital because, again, like I just said a few minutes ago, you're not going to need the IRS because everything's going to be figured out. Everything.
AI's going to run everything.
AI is going to run everything. So
Pretty soon,
problem,
pretty soon you won't have to take a shit. AI will do it.
but the problem is that the people are so easily fooled that when Trump says, I'm going to eliminate the IRS, everyone's like,
What about the income tax?
So no IRS. But they're too dumb to figure
So
out
you don't think-
that once it goes digital, it's not going to be needed anyway.
So you don't think they're going to get rid of the income tax? That's not going to happen.
They absolutely will get rid of the income tax. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Because you're still going to pay it. How am I going to pay it? Because
Because
you
it's
buy
digital.
things. You
It's
buy
digital.
things.
But that could
you
be a
pay
state
things.
tax. They could just have state tax. That's it.
That's what they
Exactly,
Okay,
but-
so that's what they do in Florida.
But they're not going to.
But they still have income
money.
tax everywhere you go.
They have income
and
tax.
it's so corrupt.
You're
Income,
still
the whole
gonna
system
use
is
it.
corrupted. They tax our federal tax dollars don't even go to the fucking federal government.
Exactly.
It goes
It's
to
not a fact.
fund
It
people
goes-
like Zelensky, to fund Israel,
Oh, yeah.
to fund
All of that.
Afghanistan,
Those
to
are our
fund
policies.
terrorists. They're all on the government payroll.
Absolutely.
So-
absolutely.
So, like Florida, they don't have a sales tax, but their housing taxes and property taxes are sky high.
Right.
So they're still
gonna
paying.
Get, they're going to get. At the
They're
end
gonna
of the
get
day-
theirs.
at
They're
the
gonna
end
get
of the
something
day,
or other.
you're-
Right,
it's
right.
still going to be there.
Right.
Although,
If you call it, if it's a banana, but you call it an apple, it's the same thing.
although this is true, my sources are true when they're saying that we're on the cusp of something really
Oh,
big.
it's big. It's going to be
and,
big.
and the Federal Reserves are being replaced by something else.
Are your sources like Ron and Jerry down in the
No,
someone's basement?
I
My
thought.
sources are
I
down
thought it
them, you know, the guy, he's from Pikeville, and he says it's gonna change the dollar and they're gonna switch it to moonshine.
Moonshine again. The Confederate dollar is coming back.
Yeah, it's
Time for rise again, goddammit.
it's a mess. I mean, it's a mess, and the American people, the Trump-tards, I call them.
Right.
The Trump-tards. You know, Donald Trump moves this bottle of water, and they're like, "Oh, look what he did! He moved the water."
Well, it's like the Biden supporters. You know, I'm a realist, you know, I really like to, I want to see good things. I hope for the best, but expect the worst.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I am. I like to give Trump a chance. Is he compromised? Well, fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
One minute I think he's not, the next minute he is. I mean,
I want to know why you think when you have those moments where you think he's not compromised.
because things that we've talked about for 20 fucking years are unraveling right in front of my eyes. Trying to end a war, just negotiating is a breath of fresh air, number one. Number two, him exposing the CIA and the FBI, which is stuff I used to talk about years ago. People used to look at me cross-eyed. You know,
Okay, the
okay,
FBI.
okay, hold on,
The
hold on, hold
FBI.
on, hold on. Let me finish. You asked,
Yes.
okay, before I start throwing chairs.
Right.
Okay, all right, okay, you asked, I'm gonna tell you. And, you know, now getting rid of the central bank, I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
It's like fucking Ron Paul's wet dream over here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but then reality kicks me in the ass and go, well, okay, they're just shifting everything over from one system to a whole other system, which is something we talked about
Right,
a long
right,
time.
yes,
A
yes.
one world currency. I don't know if that's there yet.
One world currency?
Yeah, I
Like,
don't-
like the euro?
Well, something more
Well, I mean,
condensed than that.
Well, what
It's-
I'm saying is that's a whole continent.
Well, that's
It's-
just one continent.
It's more
But-
available
but-
in conversations now than it's ever been before.
Yeah, we used to talk
The
about
word
it, people would
currency.
laugh at
I
us.
know, and people don't laugh about it anymore.
No, they don't, because, and like I said, that's why sometimes I think, you know, he's, okay, is he trying to do good, or, you know, he's manipulating the system, which I think it's kind of good what I read, that you're buying gold for a reason, it's not just to shine it, make it look pretty, and put it in Fort Knox to have some redneck go, hey, I see there was gold in there, damn it. You know, so there's big stuff going on. So
Okay.
I like to believe in him, but I'm so cynical.
My problem with Trump, though, is he does things for himself. He is.
Yeah, he does a lot
He
for
does.
himself.
Sorry, he
There's-
does.
There's a lot
He
of
does.
people. There's a lot of people behind him that are pushing this stuff.
Okay, yeah, but the
So
people
he's
that
doing
are
it for
behind-
other people,
Well,
too.
Okay, but he's
Right.
not doing it for
Well,
the good of us.
He's doing it for the billionaires.
Right.
Is a better.
Exactly.
Of course, well, the billionaires run the
Let's do it for
show.
the
I get
billionaires.
it.
Right.
Now Tucker Carlson just had a podcast
What's happened to him?
about it was about
He
an
likes-
hour long or so, and the whole discussion was about gold and the global currency. I actually watched the whole thing a few days ago.
And what
God.
what was said
How'd you
on
stay
it?
awake?
What was said is just like what we're talking about.
Just like a
why,
fucking woman.
Why everyone's buying gold? Because everybody knows the gig is up. Everybody knows the American dollar is going to die.
It's dead.
Everybody knows
It's dead.
that the
I
tariffs,
agree with that.
The tariffs
It's dead.
are a standoff against the dollar. The higher gold goes, the less the dollar goes. And all these
Yes.
countries that are angry about the tariffs, they are hoarding gold. And the other people that are standing back
'Cause they
see
know.
what's going on, and they're getting in the game too.
Yes, they know what's going on, and I do agree with that. I mean that the dollar's done, and that's how I started the segue out. Was the dollar's done?
Yeah.
Out with the old world order, in with the new world order.
Let me tell you something.
The
though.
new boss is just like the old boss.
Yeah,
Same as the
except
old-
except the whole system has changed.
Yeah.
It's gone from phony fiat to, like I said, digital back.
Let me tell you something. I've been to quite a few countries because I was in the Navy, and a lot of them were third world countries. And
Leave
a lot of
e-course out of this.
a lot, a lot of what you're saying would include countries that are more developed, like your France, your England. Those kinds of countries would be all on board for this.
Well, what about El Salvador? They use
Okay.
Bitcoin. You even talked about
Yes,
that.
yes, they do use Bitcoin. They are now in the black. They don't owe anybody any more
There you
money
go.
now because they've got off of fiat money. But let
Exactly.
me tell you something though.
Yeah,
If
there
you
you
go
go.
down to El Salvador and you use your American dollar, they're going to take it. They love American money around
Because
the
it's
world.
because it's the best smelling shit in the toilet.
Well,
I've said that before on
That's
this show.
fine. That's fine. But they like that money.
But, true. Look,
I'm
look.
telling you.
I'm not. What I'm saying is, there's probably a struggle within the power structure of who's going to fight over who's going to control the next oil. Right, like I said, the technology that's going to run everything is blockchain, semiconductors. If you have that, that's like having oil. That's like having gas, right?
Right.
So
Well,
that's what's going
well,
on right
that's
now.
what-
Everything is shifting
That's the
over.
way they feel about that dollar. Like in Brazil, Brazil's inflation is through the roof.
And we're going to be joining them pretty soon.
Their paper money,
It's ridiculous.
I had this much paper money, it wasn't worth a quarter. Now, I show them a dollar bill, my God, their eyes lit up.
Were they dancing and?
Not in Rio. Well, they dance everywhere in Rio, but not what you're talking about.
So, not to change.
So they weren't. Never mind.
What I'm saying is that dollar is still strong around the world right now.
Not to change the subject, but I will.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
No. Actually, it's
Go ahead, change the
it's
subject.
it,
Just do it.
Jesus Christ, we're not at home. Okay, what I wanted to say was now let's talk about Ukraine. You still think
Yeah.
there's going to be boots on the ground?
Yeah, I just heard, this morning that UK is putting boots on the ground in the Ukraine, which means we're going to a full war, a full hand-to-hand combat war.
Wait a second, you think America is gonna do that?
Absolutely.
Oh, we're already got special forces there. We had special forces.
Because it's the agreement that Trump just did yesterday. If you actually the agreement that Trump did
Send it to me.
with
I didn't read it.
the minerals, U.S. gets the minerals,
And Russia gets
and
minerals.
Ukraine gets military support. So
So they're not gonna tax us no more for that. Are they gonna take our money? They're gonna launder money. They've been laundering money back and forth there for years.
that laundering's never going to end.
Okay, now, I want to talk about Ukraine and how everything is linked and tethered together. I know that the reason why America's there, the United States of corporations, they're there for the natural earth minerals that, they have. But you're telling me that this war is gonna continue.
Oh, this is going to continue, and Trump said flat out. I mean, he didn't even beat around the bush. He said that when we get the minerals, Ukraine gets the right to continue to fight the war. So what does that tell you? If he's saying you get the right to continue, it's a trade. You give us the minerals, we'll give you more military backing.
So let me ask you something, and I talked about this with Dean earlier, and this is what I think, this is my mind going in overtime. Now that America has access to rare earth minerals, what's that say about Taiwan? They become expendable. Because we don't need Taiwan no more to develop computer chips when we have access to those rare earth minerals that
Right.
can make computer chips.
Right.
So does that leave a green light now for an invasion? Where America say, we stand down, you go ahead and take them.
I think they're still going to
And then
defend
they can
it.
scare the world,
Right.
let this happen, stand back, kind of like Syria, right?
Right.
They bartered a deal a while ago, Zelensky out, Ukraine's supposed to not be a part of NATO, the deals were made that you take Syria, Russia let that happen, because, they were backing Assad. This just didn't happen overnight, there was a deal bartered, I'm not stupid.
Right.
So is that kind of thing could happen in Taiwan now?
It could, because Taiwan might become second fiddle.
Yes, right,
You know,
and when we talked about
And it's
that.
probably an asset that the U.S. doesn't want to lose, but it could become
They
a
don't need
bargaining
it.
chip. Right, it could be a bargaining chip.
Yeah, they could say tit for tat. Go
Yeah.
ahead, take Taiwan. We'll be like, oh, damn, look at the Chinese.
Yeah.
And let it happen. I'm not saying that will, but it's a thought.
Well, like I said though, China could just waltz in there. They don't have to. It could be a bloodless.
Yeah.
What is Taiwan going to do?
Nothing.
Yeah, Taiwan would need support, external support.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. I hope if that happens, that's what happens. It's just bloodless, and hey, you know what?
I think there could
you're
be a
ours.
stand down, and I think the West, now that they don't need Taiwan, just like they don't need Zelensky, he's expendable too, he's out.
Everybody's
Right.
expendable, and Trump's expendable.
Well, they're all,
Everybody
look,
is.
the global elite, man.
They're all
They
expendable.
run
Yeah,
the show.
yeah.
And it's funny how everything is intertwined together. But you're saying that Ukraine, that'll still there. I just don't want my tax dollars going over.
Well,
there no more.
sorry, Tino. I'm sorry. But the war is going to continue.
They're going to still okay.
The-
So this administration is still going to allow what the last administration did.
Yes.
As
Oh,
far
yeah.
as far as I'm talking about embezzle or laundering money back
Laundering
and
money,
forth.
yeah, that's not going to stop.
That's going to keep going.
And
That must be lucrative.
the UK, the United Kingdom today, said that they are going to allow boots on the ground in Ukraine starting soon. They didn't give a specific date, but they said it's a done deal. We're sending troops to Ukraine.
Well, okay, and through Russia's perspective, in order to even bargain, they have to lift the sanctions. So the sanctions haven't been lifted, and I told Dean,
Yes.
there's over $300 billion of Russian money in European banks.
The sanctions
So you
just got
can't-
reinstated, just so you know.
Oh, they just got reinstated.
Yeah.
Sanctions make my blood boil.
Yeah,
That
right.
They do nothing to the government, and they hurt the actual people that live there.
Sanctions are an act of war.
It drives me
And,
nuts.
and that's
I
what
hate
they're
it.
doing to Russia.
Yeah.
Right, and like
They
he
just
said, it's
got, they
worthless.
just got reinstated.
So yeah, you're not going to have any peace, I guess, unless you give that money back. And from what you're saying,
They're
they're
not
They ain't giving that
gonna
money
do
back.
Hell no.
ooh. So then Russia's a little piece now. You don't give the ruble.
Well, this is just
Screw yourself.
This is just gonna escalate, and it's gonna escalate and it's gonna escalate. You know, UK is putting troops on the ground. United States is getting minerals. We're gonna give them ammunition and more.
They've been doing
Yeah,
that.
maybe,
Right.
yeah, that's
Long
another
range
thing.
missiles.
Right, more
that they're launching
ammunition,
in,
more
Russia.
vehicles, you know, more supplies.
Well,
And it's just it's gonna escalate and continue to escalate. And I told all the Trump tards, because Trump's slogan was, I'm gonna end the day in one day. My
Yeah, one
first
the
day
war,
in
yeah.
office, I'm gonna end the war.
Yeah.
Well,
And
here it is.
it
How
has-
many days later?
45
It-
maybe?
it-
45
it-
days
it hasn't
later,
happened.
And the war is, newsflash, Trump escalates the war.
Let me ask you something. Today, Zelensky was in the Oval Office, and they had a meeting, him, Trump, and Vance.
Before he snorted
Before
coke.
we started this, and it came over my phone, they have, Trump has said that Zelensky wasn't acting correctly, and they got into a blow-up kind of fight, and they kicked him out, kicked Zelensky out.
Yeah.
So, what could that possibly mean?
Yeah, who knows, man? And it's
Maybe we're not gonna get our minerals now.
No, but
No, we're getting it, trust me.
Well,
it's not our minerals.
It
It's
won't
their
be-
minerals.
It won't be in a
It's
friendly
not-
fashion as
Hey,
well.
hey, it's-
We're getting those minerals one way or another.
Hold on, it's not our minerals. It's their minerals.
Right, we're getting them.
Although you want to know something, you make a deal with the devil, that's what happens.
Yes.
You know, and which leads to
Which one's the devil in your eyes?
With- with-
Hold
with-
on.
more
When you
devil.
make a deal with the devil, brother, that's what you get. Which leads to our edition of Asshole of the Week. We have to
Yes.
have an asshole every week. Go ahead. Takes one to know one. Dean.
My asshole of the week is the egg producers. I think that they are price gouging. What they're doing makes no sense. They're saying that the price has gone up because of the avian bird flu, which I do not believe. I believe that there might be a flu, but there's no reason for our eggs to be this much. I paid almost $6 yesterday for a dozen eggs. They're paying almost $15 in New York. But yet, Mexico is selling them for $1.89 a dozen. I believe Canada's at $3. Why are they not affected by this flu? It doesn't make any sense to me. So what I think they're price gouging us, and I think that that is my pick for asshole of the week.
And
Very good, very
yeah, he brings up a good point because
Well, I sent you a
other
picture of
countries-
$9 a dozen.
yeah, it's gonna happen. Right. Inflation ain't going nowhere, and hence why they're hoarding gold. But that's a good point. Now let me talk about my asshole. I have to vent before I have a heart attack. We were talking about my asshole of the week is none other than Vladimir Zelensky. Yes, Cocaine Vlad.
Okay.
I don't care that you snort coke, and I don't care that you play the piano with your penis. And I
This is
don't,
hilarious.
and I don't care that you're an ex-comedian, because we do need a lot of laughter in this screwed up society. My big problem is you could have ended this war 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago, he could have ended the war and saved hundreds of thousands of lives, saved taxpayer dollars, but he didn't care. But he listened to Boris Johnson, the other president with a bad haircut. You listen to Boris Johnson in the West, and you don't sign the peace treaty, don't save lives, but now you want to play ball. You're playing ball with who? You are what we call a puppet. We have many puppets on the government payroll. Noriega, Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, just name it, the list is big. Idi Amin. A lot of the dictators, a lot of the drug dealers, a lot of the terrorists are on the payroll, and so are you. You had an opportunity to change and save lives, but you didn't. I wonder how many homes he has in Miami. Does he have as many homes as the other asshole, Netanyahu? He's another one. Yes, he's my pick for asshole of the week. Congratulations, Vlad.
Okay, that's your asshole of the week. Now I want to do something a little bit nicer. We're going to give a shout out to our boy Jordan. He's one of our 15 subscribers. We're up to 15 now. And he's our number one fan. And someday we'd like to get him on here and see what he thinks about certain things.
Right. And
But we know that you're watching, Jordan, and we appreciate you.
yeah, thanks. Shout out to Jordan, and maybe you can come in and get an autograph from Dean. You can burn it.
You don't want that.
I'd like to thank you guys for having me, and yes, I drove about an hour and 20 minutes just to be here today.
Are you freaking serious?
Yeah, it's a
That's
little bit longer
crazy.
than I thought.
Where were you in Cleveland?
No, I'm from the north.
North Cleveland.
Mackinac. Oh yeah, you're in Mackinac. You're right by Vancouver.
What, is that place?
I'm by the old oak tree.
The old oak tree, I know. I used to pee on that.
That's the one with the yellow ribbon?
Yeah, the yellow ribbon. I got a
Well,
fungus
it's
up
yellow,
there.
but it might not be a ribbon.
So anything else we can talk about? I mean,
Oh, there's
anything
all
else
kinds
in-
of stuff, man. Oh my
anything
God.
else in the news? There's so much things going on, man.
Yeah.
That I mean, like I was telling Dean coming in today, it's like I wanted to make this serious because there's so much happening, right?
It's so we could do a show every freaking
I know,
day.
I know.
We
And
could.
I just
We
want to
could
get
with all the
news
stuff
out
that's
there.
happening, absolutely.
So one thing about I don't know if you want to go back to the bird flu.
You can talk about whatever you like.
Okay, so the reason why they're getting rid of the eggs, and it's the focus is on getting rid of the eggs, because if you remember during COVID, one of the key things that you were supposed to eat or intake was protein. Protein fought the COVID virus hand and foot.
Really? I never heard that.
Yeah, that's why they got rid of it.
What is one of the highest things that has protein?
Yeah, eggs.
Poultry eggs.
Yep.
Meat,
Poultry
chicken.
eggs. But yes, meat, chicken, but specifically the
Yeah, the
egg.
egg has a lot of protein in
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah.
So
it
I'm
makes
wondering
sense.
how much an ostrich egg would be.
I don't know.
Or an emu egg, huh?
What about a dinosaur egg?
Dinosaur
We're gonna
egg.
get that ridiculous. I don't know.
I don't know. How many omelets do you think we could make with
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
Are you serious?
That'd be huge.
I don't know, but I bet there's a lot of Albanians only
Since we're talking
Coney
about-
Islands would
since
like
we're-
to get a hold of that.
Since you brought up dinosaurs, have you guys noticed my hat?
Yes, Godzilla.
Godzilla, right? So this is actual skin from Godzilla
What?
right here. Feel that?
Are you sure that's not dick skin?
No.
Wow.
I ain't touching that. I don't know where it's been.
This is one of my cool hats. Check it out. It's got
What do you mean
Godzilla.
actual skin from
Look at
Godzilla?
that.
Godzilla's
Yeah.
made up.
Wow.
Are you
Look at
serious? Godzilla's made up.
So we can talk about the
I don't
Epstein
want-
list if you want.
Oh, we totally forgot about
we
the
did, didn't we? Well, first off, I'm offended.
Are you
Godzilla
offended?
is real.
You're offended because you're circumcised, buddy.
Yes, let's talk about that list that
The
did-
first 90 names were released.
Okay.
that did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, right, right.
yeah.
That I can, yeah.
This is a
That's a
disappointment.
dog and pony show.
In one ear and out the other. And I
Yeah.
told you that's what was going to happen.
So who was on the list? So hold on. Who was on the list besides Dean?
Trump. It was Trump and Dean, and that
Yes,
was it.
that's it.
And who else?
Over and
besides
over.
Clinton?
Kate Blanchett was on that.
Let me tell you
list.
something. You got to bend over and touch it.
I saw Kate Blanchett on that list. She's an actress.
No shit.
Yeah. That doesn't. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that she was participating.
Yeah, I know she was just on the
So here's-
That's
Schindler's
what I'm
list.
saying.
I don't know.
It's just the.
Here's the list right here. If you
Yeah.
guys just want to breeze through it real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, say it. We can't read. Say
No,
it.
you just want me to just
Go ahead.
spit out the names?
Say whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Okay, so the first 90 names were Jazane Maxwell, Virginia Lee
Of course.
Roberts,
Well, that's his woman.
Guffrey, Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Who is Roberts? Which Roberts?
No, not Julia.
No,
Okay.
Virginia Lee Roberts.
I don't know who that is.
Well, Prince Andrew. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! I mean, come on, you sound.
Michael James Ostrich.
I don't know who that is.
He
Philip
probably lays
Barton.
eggs too.
And then we got a redacted. Who's redacted? I don't
Well,
know.
they said that the redacted ones were underage. That's why they were
Okay.
redacted.
Ooh.
They
And
didn't
then-
want to put
and
their name
then-
out there.
Kate Blanchett, David Boies, Laura Booth,
David Boies or Boies? Not David Bowie.
Boies,
I've never heard of
I
him.
don't know. Boise.
Elvin Boulay, Rebecca Boland,
No, thank you very much.
Joshua Bunner, Naomi Campbell.
Yep.
Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell, yes.
Yes.
Carolyn Casey, Paul Castle,
I don't know.
Sharon Churcher, Bill Clinton.
Yep.
Oh, well,
We already knew that.
And this guy here who made things disappear, David Copperfield.
Oh yeah.
I heard about him. Yes, I heard
Alexander
about him.
Cousteau, Cameron Diaz,
Yep.
Cameron Diaz?
Leonardo DiCaprio,
DiCaprio.
You know, he's
Alan Dershowitz,
And another
What?
one.
Yeah,
yes, he's a
he's
pervert.
he's
Look
a
at it.
turd.
Here's him under the table. Get out of here.
he is a turd.
Dr. Mona Devancian, another redacted, Bradley Edwards, Amanda Ellison, Kimberly Empezosa, and then Jeffrey Epstein, obviously, Annie Farmer,
I don't know who these people are.
Marie Farmer,
Some of them.
Alexandra Fakai,
Okay, fuck her, because I don't know who she is. Fuck I don't know.
Yeah.
Her,
Crystal
her name sound offensive.
Figueroa, Anthony Figueroa.
This is
Louis
why it's so
Breach.
disappointing.
Yeah, a big deal. I agree with
Meg,
you on that.
Meg Garvin, Robert Guffrey,
I mean, I was gonna
Al
thought.
Gore. Al Gore. was
Well, there we go. Okay, we kinda got Al Gore in there. I thought we were gonna hear more names like that, right?
This one
No.
surprised me.
Who's that?
Stephen Hawking.
Not me. He reminds me of Dave Beckett. Don't say that.
That surprised me. Michael Jackson's
That's
on
a
the list.
personal job. Michael Jackson.
Jackson's on the list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Stephen Hawking's, he can't even walk, but he can
I
still
know.
get a hard on.
That's crazy.
No. No.
Well, he's dead now, but.
What I'm saying is
can I do? Can I get a $5
Just-
blowjob?
okay. So we don't know.
George
they're not
Lucas.
telling George Lucas.
Ah.
Okay.
I believe it.
So Jeffrey Epstein was a financial person of some sort, financier.
Oh,
right?
he's a Wall Street fat cat. He was
Scott-
linked to Israel, by the way.
Scott
He was-
Rothstein.
Yeah, oh.
Oh.
Gee, I know he's not Irish.
No.
Okay, no, go back what he was
But-
saying.
but-
Jeffrey Epstein was linked to,
What-
Mossad.
Yeah.
My problem with this list is it doesn't tell us anything.
No.
It says they were on there once.
Well, we don't know how.
We don't know how many
Trump.
times. Yeah, Donald J. Trump. We don't know how many times they went there. If they're going back and forth.
Right.
We have no. There's no meat and potatoes to this list.
Right. It's just the names. It's
Right.
just names.
Now, as far as Donald Trump goes, yeah, I remember when this first broke out.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was on there. Yes.
Uh-huh.
When this first broke out, Donald Trump, they're asking him about him. Oh, what do you think about this? And he says, I don't know. I never met the man. Then there's the
pictures,
pictures,
all kinds of
video
videos,
come out.
yeah.
They're all connected,
He's-
man.
he's-
Come on. They all go to the same galas, the same
I just don't
parties.
understand why someone would.
But I
forgot
support
that.
Trump, and this is just nothing but lies.
Yeah, everything's a lie. And that's the Democrats making this stuff up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Democrats suck big ones because
They
most
do.
of them were on there too.
I agree too. No,
So,
no. Well, you had a Democratic president go over.
Two, vice too.
The vice president too, yeah. No. What I'm saying is that's the excuses that the Trump tards give. Not Republicans and not people like me, because I'm
Yeah, and me too.
I know better than that.
I'm more like I'm
Just-
not a political atheist. I'm not
Oh, I'm
loyal
just-
to anyone.
Mike Johnson just did the same
Political
crap, saying that they're
Mike Johnson was a.
they're hiring Democrats to go to these town meetings all over the place, all over the United States to disrupt their meetings, and it's just not true. It's just making stuff up. They drive me nuts.
Nevertheless, though, I mean, we could expand and
Lies.
talk about so many things going on right now. And
What do you think about this? This was a theory I came up with, and I don't know if it's true or not. But Dean told me that the gold was $3,000 an ounce.
Yeah, something like that. Real
Okay,
close.
so who can afford that? Billionaires, right? So what I was telling him is I think that these people are buying that up because they can, whereas the common man ain't gonna buy that.
Well, let me explain
more-
how,
But
how you can. Because
hold
you,
on,
It's
hold on.
more to it.
There's more to it than.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I go, you can't even go to a sporting event anymore without taking out a small loan.
No, it's
There-
$500 just for a
What-
Lions game.
Right.
That
so
started in the '90s.
Oh, whatever. But what I'm saying is, slowly but surely, it seems to me that they're pushing the common man out of everything.
Yeah.
Even
Like that.
even cars. Look how expensive cars are.
It's ridiculous.
You
Pickup
cannot
truck,
get
a fancy pickup truck is $110,000.
Yeah,
It's
what the-
ridiculous.
My house was cheaper.
What do you need crab walk for?
Yeah,
I don't.
mean, look.
Nobody does. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe the
I just
Weimar-
think. I think that the billionaires or the oligarchs, whatever you want to call them, I think they're just
cabal.
pushing the common man out.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
been. That's a part of the agenda. Is make us slaves,
Yeah.
and that's what we are, slavelandia.
Slave India.
Well, I mean that's what it is. And
It's still funny.
yeah, oh yeah. Gotta use a little humor too. But I totally agree. I mean, yeah, on a lot of that. But there's more to it because there's something coming. There's a change coming. I'm not saying it's going to benefit us. I mean, hopefully, like I said, I hope for the best, but expect the worst. There's something huge brewing, Dean, because there's a reason why gold is $3,000 an ounce. It's not just to make money.
Right.
They've already got all the money in the
Yeah,
world.
that's what I'm saying.
So
What-
there's
what do you think
actually
about
many
that?
different ways you can buy gold. You can actually buy it in segments of 1/10 of an ounce.
Right.
You can actually buy paper thin sheets of gold. You know, there's other,
Bullion.
right. You can
There's-
buy bullion. Yeah, there's other ways that the common folk
coins.
can afford
Doubloons?
gold. so like for like instance, you know, if it's $3,000 an ounce, 1/10 of an ounce would only be $300.
Right. Well, that's still pretty. steep, I think. So what I was getting at though, it just seems to me that they're trying to just push the common man out of everything.
We already been
Just
pushed
everything.
out. We've been pushed out.
I mean, it's just getting worse and worse.
I know. Well, it's like Weimar Republic.
The Weimar
What happened to the Weimar Republic? The Zimbabwe inflation.
Yes,
Are
they
we
had
heading
$1
that
billion
way?
bills.
We're becoming that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's slowly becoming that. And
just
who's
sad.
going to handle inflation? And like I said, a part of me hopes that he goes in there to try to do something, but really he can't. The Federal Reserves are the ones that can do this, and to limit their power would be the best thing.
Yeah, I agree.
To limit their power, yes.
And I hate calling them federal because they're not federal. They're private banks.
So they're just like Elon Musk, not federal.
The last time, last time somebody tried to reel in the Federal Reserve, they ended up dead.
Yeah.
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 Kennedy.
It's amazing how many dead people there are
The dead Kennedys.
just from our government alone.
Oh, I know.
Just how many people from the Kennedy family?
Oh, I know it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the guy gets in an airplane with his wife or his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, it was
They
in
start-
99.
They start flying off the Atlantic coast, and the steering goes out and right into the ocean.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going, gee, how did that happen?
We don't know, but we're gonna we're gonna look into it. We're gonna look into
Which
it.
is interesting too, because at the time he really wasn't making waves or anything.
No.
He was just getting ready to come into the Senate.
I
think
hear.
so?
I hear.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
hear he was gonna run for president.
Oh, he probably would have at some point in time.
I've
And
never
Hillary
heard
Clinton.
any of
Hillary Clinton would have never been senator in New York either.
And that's it exactly, because when he died, he
She
was
ran.
He was the
Right
number
after.
one competitor to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
that. What do you think about Pete Buttigieg?
Besides his name being pretty sexy.
You know,
What do you think of him? Honestly, I just want your opinion. I'm not going to.
He's a Democrat. I know
Yeah.
you don't like him.
yeah.
Well,
they're just, I've gotten to the point where I just hate all of them the same.
Okay. Well, I don't know. He seems different to me,
He sure does.
and I don't. I don't care about him.
I don't either. I don't care what he sticks in his butt, but I mean, or his name sounds very familiar.
Butt wedge.
It does.
Butt wedge.
It just doesn't. He just seems different to me, and I don't. I am not a Democrat or a Republican. I voted Green Party last time.
Very good.
I'm just not into the
Jill Stein?
the two party. Right, Jill Stein.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just not into the two party system. I think it's bad.
I'm
That's
with
smart.
you. I'm with you with
but
that.
this guy seems to be different.
Different
I
how?
don't know, man.
Meaning he's
He
not female oriented.
Well, he seems a lot more transparent to me. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know much about him.
I don't either, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. But what little I've heard of him, he seems to be a
don't-
straight shooter.
Well,
Now you're wrong, and you're in the hot seat for a reason, buddy. That's it. Keep moving.
Well, here's why.
How's that feel?
How's this is
are
why.
you a straight shooter?
Oh my God! This is why I'm asking, because Gary Peters.
Oh, here we go now. We go from this to Peters.
Hold on. No.
But to Pete.
Oh my
to
God!
Peter.
Remember when Peters ran
From my
against?
butt to
My
your
Peter.
Peter.
My booty gig to your Peters.
Do you remember when he ran for? He ran against Mike Cox. It was Cox versus.
Oh my God! You gotta be kidding me!
I'm not
You
kidding.
go from
Oh my
Buttigieg
God.
to Peters to cock.
It was hilarious.
Is this a porn we're doing now?
No.
What's going on?
No.
No,
Anyway,
geez. we're gonna get canceled.
What I'm getting at is Gary Peters is retiring. He's not going to run again. So
Thank
Pete
God.
Buttigieg lives in Traverse City.
Peters was terrible.
Well, he may take his spot. Is my
Oh my
point.
God, Peters was terrible.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Buttigieg is probably going to take his spot.
Now,
Gary Peters
What did-
had
wait,
Gary Peters had his office in Clawson.
okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's
That's
kind
by
of
you,
by
right?
you,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
let me ask you a question. Where the hell? Buttigieg is not from Michigan.
No, but he lives there. He lives here.
Is he?
He's been here for 3 years.
So where was he? He was a senator, or where was?
No, he was Department of Transportation.
Okay, and where's he from? Because he moved.
I would have to look it up. Yeah, he did move here. Yeah.
Okay,
But he is allowed
that's
to
what I
run.
want to know.
He is allowed to run for senator.
So
But
now
listen,
he's-
just like Hillary Clinton was not
So-
from
oh,
New York.
well, of course, yeah. We already
Well-
talked about what happened there.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I know.
So
When you can't win, eliminate the competition.
Right.
yeah. Which is why she lost to Trump.
I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him an offer they can refuse.
Yeah.
You're gonna start your car, and that's
Right.
it.
Anyways, I wanted your opinion,
Yeah, so,
and I got nothing.
My opinion
Oh, yeah, you
is
hate
the
'em.
exact same. I hate.
Yeah,
I
well,
hate every
really-
one of them. I'm a political atheist. Dino can't say it
No,
any
no, no,
better.
no.
I'm the same way, and I think that's why we're,
It just strikes me as a little bit different than the norm. That's all. That's why I brought him up.
Gotcha.
well, I mean,
And I could be wrong. I have no idea.
that's why this is an open forum. We're not. I don't know how anybody can be loyal to these son of a bitches.
Oh no, I'm not loyal.
I know you're not. I know
No,
you're
no,
not.
you know that.
Before I take my
There's
gear off,
no freaking way.
I know you're not loyal, but I just don't know how anybody could be loyal to a group of people.
Yeah, who are screwing you.
Who want you down. They want to keep you down, man. And
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
you
yeah.
submissive.
And that's Democrat or Republican.
Oh,
That-
it doesn't
They
matter.
are in
It doesn't
cahoots in a lot of
But
ways.
I want to tell my viewers, tell my listeners, the 3 people today, maybe 4 now. We might have maybe a 4th one out there somewhere. Maybe it's your wife. I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, Nevertheless, tell them that something big is happening.
Yes.
Get the word out there that your gold. There's a reason why gold is $3,000 an ounce.
There's a reason why countries are getting it.
Yes, and hoarding it. And don't listen to the mainstream corporate media because they're going to put a spin on things. Click!
It depends on what they're talking about.
Yeah, well. So that's about it for our show this
Yep.
week.
Excellent.
Thank you very
Definitely-
much, everybody, for watching. All 15 of you,
Yeah, all
especially
4.
Jordan.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan. And we'll be back next week. And keep your eyes on the prize. We'll be back 2 and 2. And you better believe something's going to happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.